All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am excited about this one. I am shivering with anticipation. And if you know the reference of that, make sure you put that in the comment section or in the live chat. I'll leave that up to you, which one you prefer to do. I mean, if you're watching this live, why not put it in the live chat and join the conversation? If you're watching it later, then live chat is not available, so comment away. This one is quite interesting considering the circumstances. Now, these are my 4 PGX books I get every month, and before I do any unboxings or anything, I always give the scenario in case there's a new person or somebody that heard something that is untrue. I have a deal with PGX and also EGS. I have been working with PGX with this situation for going now 6 years. I was in New York when I started. I have every single video I've ever done an unboxing with PGX on this channel. So you could watch any single one of them. Every single one is done live. So this way there is no trickery. There is no deception. There is no editing of videos. I put it out there. I do it live. And you can see and see if it's something you want to try yourself. Now, I do not get paid by either EGS or PGX. I have no contract signed, so I am never obligated to have to say anything other than my shared experience. I don't ever want my viewers to think that I am reading some kind of script, that some company has told me I have to say at least 1 or 2 positive things. I speak as I experience. And I don't get many viewers, but the viewers that I do get appreciate that. So, the benefit for me is I am allowed with PGX to send in 4 books every month to get graded, pressed and dry cleaned if needed, signature verification if needed, and also because of my idea, and I always thank Daniel Patterson, the owner of PGX, for doing this and listening to me, basically a nobody on YouTube. I'm not some influencer or anything. But to add the grader's notes onto the back of the actual slab. They are the only one of the major companies that has the grader's notes on the slab. It is an option. So the benefit for me is I get that, plus, I have to pay for the shipping and everything. The benefit for them is hopefully they get a couple of new customers that watch my videos. And I made sure there's a benefit for you. So if you send in 10 or more books to PGX and you use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of the 10 books pressed for free. I would recommend you mention which one you want pressed, otherwise they'll just pick one randomly. So, I mean, that's a good, depending on the book you're sending, anywhere from a $20 to $50 value. And it's my way of making sure you guys that view my channel get something out of it. Now, the 4 comics, I'm not going to tell you the others because I'm just going to show them. But it's funny how they say hindsight is 20/20. Or these days, hindsight is 20/24. One of the books, and you saw it in the title, one of the books I sent in was a book I bought probably in 2017. It was right before I shut down my original channel. And it was a CGC X-Men 3.0. Now, after all these years, I decided pretty much about 2 or 3 weeks before this whole CGC event comes to light and comes out, because I was, I didn't know about that. I mean, so you want to talk about timing. But the reason I cracked it open, and I explained it in the video because I always do a video for the 4 books I'm going to send out and give my prediction of what I think the grade is going to be. So you could check that as well so you could see that I'm not making up a tale. That the reason I cracked it open was for 2 reasons. One, when we moved from New York to Florida, the case got cracked at the bottom. So it would have had to have been reslabbed anyway. But I also saw that the whole spine had pressable defects. Now, it was a 3.0, so it's not like it's going to go up to a 9 or anything like that, or it didn't have already problems with the book. But it had one of those kind of indents along the spine, and that could press out. So I took the chance, cracked it open with another CGC book for the same reasons. And then we find out 2 or 3 weeks later the whole CGC scandal. So I am quite interested to see what this returns as. Now, a lot of the problems with CGC was because of higher grade books, but you never know. So we'll find out live. So I got the box here, and I want to show before I do that. By the way, 15 people are watching the video. Now 14. One's sick of hearing me talk already, which I don't blame them. 6 people have already hit the like button, so thank you to those 6 people that were kind enough to do that. Let's get some of the shout-outs of the people in the live chat. And remember, you don't have to be a subscriber to be in the live chat. We got Jay Salsa, 23. Welcome. Jeremiah Garcia is here. Life is good. Always good to see you. Joey Lane, he says, hey Chris, excited to see this unboxing, and just wanted to say, keep going. Oh, keep doing what you do for the authenticity of comics and what the community should be more like, a real one. Thank you, Joey. That was really nice of you. That's probably one of the reasons why most people don't watch my channel, and so many people hate me personally on this, in this quote-unquote community, because I'm not afraid to speak about things. Because, you know, sometimes, like I said in the video yesterday, you got to take a step back to make 2 steps forward. So, to me, sometimes you got to take that step back. But remember, when you want to play pinball, what do you got to do? You got to pull the lever back, and it lets go and shoots forward. That's how you have to view life. Same thing with a bow and arrow. You want a bow and arrow to shoot? The further you pull back, the farther it's going to launch. So you got to think in long term, not just the moment. So thank you for that. We also got Gunny Camacho here. All right, so as you can see, scrolling on the screen at the bottom, and by the way, that's my AI art. I tried to do the bunch of X-Men. That was the best one that would come out, so it's not, like, super detailed, and the word comics came out a little messy, but that was the best one out of probably, like, 50 tries, and, you know, you can only use so many credits up before you just say, all right, I'll just use one of them. So if you want to leave a comment about what you think about the AI art, please feel free to do so. And you see, scrolling by, a whole bunch of comics like Journey into Mystery 83, Tales of Suspense 39, All-Star Comics 8, and others. I'm looking to acquire one or all of those books. I'd love to get one before the end of this year. I don't have the finances to do it, because you guys know I've been unemployed since October. But I want to show my viewers that you can acquire things without having to spend money. Now, obviously, one of the ways is stealing, which I don't recommend anybody do, and I will not do. But you can also do trades. So I did a video about 3 months ago showing all graded books, by the way, all books that I sent in to get graded that were originally bought raw, and you could verify each and every one through a video that I've done, that are now graded, that I would be willing to trade for any of those books. And I don't care if it takes all 30, 35 of them to get one of the books. If it's a fair trade, I'll be more than happy to do it and pay for the shipping. So contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com if you have any of these books, and let's show the community that there are so many ways you can acquire the things that may make you happy in life, and something you may desire, and not always think, well, I don't have the money, so I can't get it. So let's make that possible. So far, no one has ever contacted me with any of these books as a particular trade, but I'm not the give up type. So if it takes me 700 times to finally get one, I don't care about the 700 times before that no one responded. I focus on the one time it happens. So I'm trying to change people's mindset and think more positively. So with all that nonsense out of the way, let's put on the video camera so you can see my wonderful mug. You can call it whatever you want. Oh, and also look in the live chat. It's also in the description of this video. I do sell mystery boxes. I've only sold one last year. It was a big one, but I thought it was pretty cool that somebody bought one. But if you go into the link, and you'll see, and I put it in the live chat. Sorry about that. All of a sudden, a window opened up. There's a link to my web store. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see the the comic section. Just go there. The mystery boxes go anywhere from a $25 mystery box up to a $5,000 mystery box. Obviously, the $5,000 mystery box is not going to have any, generic books. And if you ever do a unboxing video, I will make sure, 1, I'm subscribed to your channel, and 2, I'll allow you to share the link to the video to my most recent video that I do, so people can see it. and maybe you'll get a few subscribers or two. So hopefully you'll check that out. But here is the box, and as usual, I'm sure with the contents of the books in here, because there are two major keys. X-Men is number one. There's a couple of them, but X-Men number one. Many people said, oh, they wouldn't trust PGX to send in these books because I'm not spending extra money on shipping. I sent them regular generic mail. I don't live in fear. When you live in fear, you don't understand or understand what you create as your reality. People need to, as Yoda once said, unlearn what you've learned. So I am not frightened. I never was scared. I was never nervous, never gave it a second thought. And here they are in a box that is perfect. It is protected because there are only 4 comics in here. PGX does an amazing job with their packaging. So I'm going to unbox this live. I always do the sides of the box already. This way it makes it a little bit quicker. But here on the top, and I think they went a little, they went above and beyond with the packaging on this one, because I think especially with the X-Men number one. So we got padding on the top. We got the packing peanuts all around. We have more of that brown paper on the bottom. So just to show, they wrap it in very thick bubble wrap. So they definitely went above and beyond on this one. So I'm trying to clean it up. So let me open this. And I want to try and do it so I cannot see the grades. I do not know the grades. That's why I do this live. And they returned the certificate of authenticity, because there's actually 5 books, because one of them, by mistake, it was a book signed by Stan Lee. That was a 9.6. That was from my last PGX, I believe, or the one before. I think it was the last one. But they wrote the wrong name. It wasn't, they didn't write Stan Lee's signature. So I had them return it. But the good thing is, I noticed that there was a non-color breaking crease in it. And it got a 9.6. So I asked them if they could focus again on that one non-color breaking crease. And maybe it could be a 9.8. We'll find out. But they returned the certificate of authenticity. I sent that back just to make sure they saw that it did indeed say Stan Lee. All right, so not only do they wrap this in bubble wrap, but you'll see once I get to the inner sanctuary of the comics, and I want to make sure as soon as I see the back cover, I'll know not to turn it around. So let me just, okay, so I have it upside, they always put it upside down for me, and I think they put the blue thing cover on it, but they also put this blue cellophane so it does not shake or get damaged in transit. So in the 6 years where I've mailed 4 books every month for 6 years now, not one book has ever come back with the case broken or cracked. That says everything you need to know about how they take care of their slabs, because this is above and beyond. But then again, they do this all the time. It's just they did a little extra. All right, so they got this blue cellophane on there pretty tight. Okay, so there's 5 books in here. I will go over, before I reveal the grade, the price I paid for it, which I always include shipping and handling, all that stuff. People that don't do that don't know how to do business, because, you know, you have to know the difference between net and gross profit. And if you don't, you should not have your own business, or shouldn't start your own business. But I'm going to tell you what I paid in full. I'm going to tell you the significance of the book. I'm going to tell you my prediction. Keep in mind, I base my predictions on what I think the grade will be after a pressing and dry cleaning. So I'm kind of guessing, because you never know. A pressing and dry cleaning could bring it up 0.5 of a grade, and it could bring it up 2 whole grades. It depends on the damage. So let's find out. Let's start this. And I can see already from the back, they put the blue tabs, so I don't have to hold it. So this was the one that got reholdered. So this was originally, of course, this is Secret Wars number 8. I paid $252 for this book, which is ironic because Amazing Spider-Man number 252, you know, black suit, so how ironic. But I paid $252. I originally predicted it was between a 9.4 and a 9.8. It came back in 9.6. It is signed by Stan Lee. But they wrote the wrong name, so I had to send this one back. So, and by the way, 23 people watching, 12 people hit the like button. Let's see what we got. Okay, so it stayed at 9.6, perfectly fine. I'll read the greatest notes, but let's see. Signed by Stan Lee, so they did fix it. You know, hey, mistakes happen every now and then. If you watch my videos live, you don't see them making mistakes all the time. So, you know, keep in mind, companies will make mistakes. And somebody was saying something the other day about how easy you can crack open the slab of PGX. That's not the issue, and I'll show you. Because one of the things that they do differently than most is it's not about just taking the book out of the case. Because here's my Raphael #1. It's too big for their slab, so they just graded it with the inner welling. They connect the inner welling to the comic. So you can't just pull the book out and reuse the label. You would literally have to trim this. So, I mean, they could do it, obviously. But if you saw the top part separated, or this looks like it's been cut, you know it's been tampered with. So I like the fact that they connect the comic to the actual label. It's not a separate piece. So the cracking of the case, the ease of cracking the case isn't the situation. It's the fact that they can't just pull the comic out because the label will come with it. So I just wanted to show that really quick. So the Secret Wars #8. Let me put this back. I have one of those magazine size holders for that. So it stayed at 9.6. I'm perfectly fine with that. It didn't go down in grade or anything. But let's read the greatest notes, because it says light half-inch corner crease at the bottom right-hand corner of front cover. So I guess they couldn't get that out, which that's fine. I'm going to be happy with a 9.6 signed by Stan Lee for $252. You know, let me know in the live chat if you think that's a good deal. All right, so let's get to the 4 books that are in this. All right, I want to make sure I don't... Okay, so I'm not looking at the grade... Well, I can't anyway because it's got the protection. But I want to do it in a specific order because I can tell by the back. And by the way, they send the bags, which are Mylar, by the way. I never liked the original bags that PGX used to have. They went up like 3/4 of the way in the back. I didn't like those. So they did a much better job with the newer ones that are Mylar and they're clear. So I use those all the time. Okay, so let's get to the 4 books. First one, I have a couple of copies of this one. One of them, I haven't sent one in probably about a year or so. But the one that I did send in, I think I sent 2 of them in. One, I think, came back either a 9.4 or a 9.6, and the other one came back a 9.8. So this, of course, is Something is Killing the Children. This is issue #1. This is the first print. I paid $556.92 for this. Now, unlike so many people on YouTube, I don't just look at a book front and back and say, oh, it's a 9.8. Because you never know if page 14 has a bend in it. Or maybe some manufacturing error or a stain. You never know. So I never assume, even if a book looks perfect, that it's a 9.8. So I always say, unless like it's something that's like got one of those like harder covers that could be a 9.9 or a 10, like a Batman Damned, for example, I always put the range between a 9.4 and a 9.8. So I paid $556.92 for this book. So I think at a 9.6, it would probably break even. I'm not sure how much this is worth at this point. But whatever the grade is, you guys know me, I'm going to be happy regardless. I mean, unless this was a 0.5, then I would have issues with that. But they've never done me like that before. So let's see what we got. Something is Killing the Children, number 1. I said between a 9.4 and a 9.8 with white pages. Obviously, it's a newer book. And what do we got? Oh, there we go. My second 9.8. So first appearance of Erica Slaughter. So, I mean, considering how much I paid for it, the seller did say they were expecting a 9.8. But, you know, how many sellers have said that about their books? And, you know, they could be just wishful thinking. But they did a good job at the pressing and dry cleaning. Didn't really need it. But I always tell people, especially with newer books, it can't hurt unless you go to somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. So that's a good start out for this book. 9.8, Something is Killing the Children, white pages. If anybody knows what a 9.8 sells for, you know, let me know. I think it's going to be higher than what I paid for it, because I know I bought that book a year or two, like 2 or 3 years ago, right at the peak. So I think, you know, all comic prices have gone down since then. But sometimes you got to take the chance. All right, next up. I don't know why I keep covering these, because they got the thing. Next up, this is Malibu Sun, issue number 13. Now, I wish it was the one that had... If you have Malibu Sun 13, which is not the first appearance of Spawn, because it's a catalog, it's not a comic book. But if you have one on the back where there's no color, you have the very rare error, which is worth probably 20 times the amount of what this book would be. Unfortunately, I don't have that, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, this book, when I bought it back when I lived in New York, so I have this for years. And unfortunately, I had it on my shelf, and when we were moving, I dropped a couple of books. So it probably ruined the chance of this getting a 9.8. And I could see there are grader's notes on the back, but I don't know the grade. So I'm assuming it's not a 9.8, but it had 2 little white dots here. So I thought with a manufacturing, that could be a manufacturing thing. I don't know if they'd take away from that. Obviously, with manufacturing, you're not going to get a 10 or a 9.9, but you might still get a 9.8. But I had to do a bigger range on this one, because like I said, this book, it dropped from the highest part of my closet when we were moving, and it came crashing down to the ground, and it bent the corner. I don't think it broke color, but I gave this a bigger range of grade than I normally would. So I only paid $85 for this book, and like I said, even though it shows Spawn, it predates Spawn number 1, but Spawn number 1 is Spawn's first appearance, because to have a first appearance, it has to be in comic book form. It can't be like, for example... You know, even though this is still desirable, this has got the first cover of Hellboy, but it's not his first appearance because it's a Italian. It's like almost like a TV guide in a way. So this is still desirable for collectors because it does predate Spawn number 1. But like I said, I paid $85 for it. So I said, and by the way, what was the page colors on these? Let me just go over those because I forgot. White pages and white pages. So, you know, that to me was a no-brainer with the Something is Killing the Children. But the Secret Wars number 8 also has white pages. Let's go over this. Survey says, they put these on good. All right, so a 9.2. So 9.2 for Malibu Sun, number 13. I'm perfectly fine with that. You will never see me on any of these unboxing videos be like, oh, how is it a 9.2? I can't believe it. Because you know what? Professional graders, there's a reason why we send them to go get graded by professionals. The people that will look at a book and think every book is a 9.8 just by looking at the cover should really, you know, shut the fork up. And if you're that good at grading, go work for a grading company. I love watching people's unboxing videos. So if you have CGC, PGX, CBCS, EGS live unboxings or unboxings where you don't know the grade, send me the links. I'll watch them. I love watching them. But what will turn me off from watching a person is when they expect everything to be a 9.8, and if they get a 9.6 or, God forbid, a 9.4, they're acting like their house just crumbled all around them and their family just got sucked out into Mars. I don't understand that. So I'm very happy with the 9.2 with white pages. They do mark that it does predate Spawn number 1. And this came out in 1992. So if I didn't drop it, could have been a 9.8. Who knows? But let's read the Graders Notes. And like I said, if you want to add Graders Notes to yours, you can, for a $5 charge, you can put We Love Comics Graders Notes, and they'll put them on the back of the slab. Not many people do it. I love doing that because it makes it, more, it makes them more accountable for what's going on with the book. And if you're going to sell it, makes it easy to sell. But it says several stress lines along the spine. That could have been there, or it could have been because of the drop. Slight cover wear, which is, like I said, those 2 white dots, so they did take off because of that. Slight color fading on front cover at spine. So the dropping of it wouldn't have changed that at all. So maybe it would have been a 9.4 or maybe a 9.6 if I didn't drop it. So it wouldn't have been a 9.8 regardless. But hey, for $85, I'll take a 9.2. Not going to complain. All right, last 2 books. And so far, 33 people are watching. 19 people have hit the like button. That is a great ratio. Not a lot of people commenting in the live chat. Let's fix that. Put some conversations in. Get your name out there. Hey, you never know, especially if you have a YouTube channel. If you do a lot of comments on somebody's channel, somebody might say, hey, let's check out this other person's channel. I've had many people where they had discussions in the live chat, and then all of a sudden they subscribe to that person's channel, and I have no problem helping other people. All right. So again, I don't have to cover it. Just force a habit. This was a CGC 9.0. I didn't technically buy this. I did a trade with somebody on Craigslist. They were only about a 20-minute drive away from me. And they gave me almost the complete set of the Bone series. There was maybe like 12 issues out of the whole 52 print run that they did not have. But the biggest book I had to trade for this was an X-Men 12 that was probably about a 2.0. Because they were all X-Men books that they were looking for. And a lot of them, he was collecting the entire X-Men run. And he was looking for books that he did not have. So a lot of the books that he wanted for this trade weren't even really key books. Except for, like I said, issue 12. And I think also X-Men 16. But I had lower grade versions of those books, and he was perfectly fine with them. And I don't remember the other books, but I think there was maybe 5 or 6 total. So I don't know what I would say what I paid for this, but I definitely paid less than what it's worth. So I did this via trade. Now, this was a CGC 9.0. It didn't have a cracked case or anything. But again, like I was saying about the X-Men, it had a non-color breaking crease along the spine. So I thought this might be able to have, take a chance of getting it, cracking it out, getting it pressed, and seeing, even if I bump it to a 9.2, if it stays a 9.0, I'm perfectly fine with it. But this is Bone number 1. This is the first print. They do mark that right here. I don't know if you can see it. Now, be very careful. This has, I believe, 11 to 12 prints. And the majority of them look exactly the same, except for the color of the word bone. So the only one that would be red is the first print. So make sure, and this is why I tell people all the time, when you're collecting comics or anything, make sure you know what you're buying. Because if you spend the same amount on a book like this, and you find out it's a 2nd, 3rd, or 7th print, you're not going to be very happy. So make sure you know these things. So this was originally a CGC 9.0. I predicted between a 9.2 and, wishful thinking, a 9.6. I definitely don't believe it would get a 9.8. But I don't know what I paid for it because I did it via trade. But it was both parties were happy. The person was very happy with his books. And I was happy with, I got a rarer book that has so much potential and was high grade, already graded. So let's see what the grade is. Did I get a grade bump or did it stay the same? Oh, I see what they did. They taped it from the other side. And there we go. I am very happy with that. I have no complaints with only a 0.2 grade upgrade. A bump and upgrade is a bump and upgrade, and that could actually be, especially with a book like this, probably a $300 to $500 difference. And that's why I try and explain this to people all the time. One of the benefits of buying a graded book that's already been graded is that there are times where the person that graded that book, or maybe bought it from somebody else, maybe did not think a book needed a pressing, or maybe did not even know pressings existed. Because when I first started my We Love Comics channel, my original channel, which I shut down, I would send books into CBCS and CGC, and also PGX at the time. This was before I made the deal with them, and never heard of pressings. So they all came back, and some of them I resubmitted, seeing later on they needed a pressing. So the fact that I saw that this had a non-color breaking indent along the spine, I knew a pressing was going to bring this up a grade. I didn't know how much, but I'm very happy going from a 9.0 to a 9.2. Obviously, I don't want a 9.8 if it's not going to be one. I'm not going to be one of those people, especially, and I hate bashing CGCers on this, but I see it all the time. With CGCers, if this was supposed to be a 9.2, and they even said it before they unveiled it, it's like, oh, I was expecting a 9.0 and a 9.2. If they get a CGC 9.8, what do you think most of them say? Say, oh, I'll take it. You shouldn't take it, because then because what they're going to do is they're going to sell it. Now you're going to be having somebody else have a book that's not the grade it's supposed to be. So Life is Good says, Bone 1 9.2, last sale $2,244. If I went by what I traded, at the value of it at the time, with all the books I traded, I probably paid about $150 for this book, maybe $200, because you guys know me, I buy stuff pretty cheap, especially with lower grades. So this was once a CGC 9.0. Now I don't have to worry about, was this one of the CGC slabs that was done in wrong? It got a bump in the grade to a 9.0. I'm sorry, 9.2 from a 9.0. And it is the first print. So let's read the greatest notes. And white pages, by the way. So thank you, by the way, for Life is Good is pointing that out. So the greatest notes said corner crease at the bottom of the spine, front and back cover. That I knew it was there already. Obviously, that's why it's not a 9.8, 9.6, or 9.4. Thumb bend at middle. Oh, thumb bend. Is it bend or band? Thumb bend at middle front cover. I don't know what that means, a thumb bend. I mean, I don't really even see anything. Maybe they mean a fingerprint or something? I'm not sure. But anyway, I knew about the corner crease. That's why I said even, when I did the grade, I said 9.2 to 9.6 because I knew it had a little minor corner crease that broke color. So I knew it wasn't going to get a 9.8. And like I said before this, wishful thinking of the 9.6. Very happy with the 9.2. All right, moment we've been waiting for. 39 people are watching. 27 people have hit the like button. Thank you so much for that. And before I reveal it, I want to show people that are watching. If you look on the bottom of the screen scrolling by, I am trying to acquire any or all of these books that you see on the bottom of the screen scrolling by. If you have an extra one of these books, or you're sick of the book for some strange reason, and you'd like to do a trade with me, I did a video about 3 months ago where I show about between 30 and 35 graded books that were all once raw that I sent in to get graded, so you don't have to worry about if there's been a switcheroo or anything. Contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com, and let's make a trade happen so I can show my viewers that you can acquire things that you desire in alternate ways than just having the right amount of money to do it. So let's get to this book. This book was originally a CGC 3.0. Now, this was before the CGC scandal was ever out. But of all the years I've had this, like I said, I've had this since about 2017. of all the years that I had this, I just decided the other month to send this in to get graded. Now, like I said before, and just in case if you missed it, the reason I cracked this was 2 reasons. One, when we moved, it ended up cracking at the bottom of the case. Because this one I put in my car that we were not driving, but we had it attached to the trailer, and I put it in the back of the car. So it was probably swinging around and bouncing around, and I put it in with about 25, in a CGC holder. So this one got cracked. But it also had a non-color breaking spine roll that could benefit from a pressing. Now, this was a 3.0, so I'm not expecting a 7 or a 9 or even a 5. I mean, that would be awesome. But it did have some lower grade damage. So even if it came back a 3, at the very least, I do not now have to worry that this previous CGC blue labeled 3.0 could be one of the fakes. Again, I did it before I had it graded. So if you want to watch the video, it was a CGC 3.0 blue label. I paid $2,062.64. And I'm assuming if it was a 3.0, it would get a 3.5 to a 4.5. Let's see what we got. All right, so it stayed a 3.0. You know what? I am 100% perfectly fine with that. So with the amount of damage it already had, the pressing did not improve the grade. But you know what? Now I don't have to worry that this might have been swapped and it was a restored book or a 2.0 book. I am very happy. So you know what? I was not afraid to take the chance. The book, the case was already cracked. So I needed to have it done anyway. And if I would have sent it to CGC, with the whole controversy right now, I would have been very nervous. And they would have definitely charged me a heck of a lot more. So, stayed a 3.0. Off-white to white pages. Did I write down what the pages were? Let me see. I did not write... I wish I did, but I did not write what the original pages were. I'm assuming it's the same. So you know what? My X-Men #1 is a first print. Well, obviously. It's not restored. It's not qualified. It's no longer in a cracked case. And now I know that, regret in life is wishing you did something and never doing it. So now I know that a pressing would not have improved the grade. So I took the chance. I now know that it isn't one of the ones in the CGC scandal from thieves and criminals that were switching books. And I'm happy with it staying a 3.0. So it did have, like you can see there's a big stain there. That's why it was a lower grade. But let's read the greatest notes. Multiple stress lines along the spine. Obviously, you're going to have that on a book, this, Silver Age book that was probably very well loved and probably very well often read. Moderate cover, edge, and spine wear. Water spots, which I just showed. Several edge tears. Dirty back cover. Dirty front cover. Minor browning of interior cover. So that's why I got a 3.0. But for a 3.0, except for this little spot where there's a stain, it's just from there to there. No coupon is ripped out, no ink. And Jay Salsa says, same grade is better than a lower grade. Absolutely. And like I said, this was in a CGC case. It was a 3.0. What if it would have came back a 4.0 but restored? Or a 2.0 restored? Or a 2.5 qualified? So this gives me peace of mind. So overall, I would say this was a success with all of these books. Sometimes you don't have to get a bump in grade to be happy with what you have. I have always been appreciative. I never thought in my life I would own a book like this. You'd never know what you can achieve when you eliminate the fear and the doubt from your routine. Daniel says, Chris, do I have your permission to plug my comic channel? Obviously, you know it's the content you approve. Obviously, Daniel, I have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with anybody promoting their channel on my channel. This is We Love Comics, not I Love Comics or You Love Comics. It's We Love Comics. If you want to promote your channel, as long as it's... And Daniel, I'm subscribed to you, so I know you're not doing a porn site or anything. But if you have a YouTube channel that talks about sneakers, you want to promote your channel here? Please do. If you have a channel that talks about politics, as long as it's not something where you're attacking people for having a different point of view, promote your channel. If you have a prank channel, I would never let you promote your channel on my channel. I don't promote garbage, especially ones where people do prank videos that inconvenience the lives of others for their own personal gain. But yeah, Daniel, and that's why I have you as a moderator and I respect you. And all of you can ask Daniel. He's probably bought from me more than anybody else. And he's bought books like Daredevil #1, Amazing Spider-Man #14. He's bought some big boy books for me. And he'll attest. They always arrive very quickly, arrive very safely, and he has sent me money orders at times, mailed money orders to my house. If I was some crook or criminal, you know how easy it would be to just say, oh, I didn't get it in the mail and cash it? I don't do that to people. Once you burn a bridge, you ain't building it back. So, when you do the right thing, good things will eventually happen to you. Now, I'm not going to go into a big rant. I have plenty of those videos. I know some people like it. But I'm just going to go over the books one more time and tell you all I am extremely happy. You may think I'm crazy for doing what I did and risking sending very expensive books, but you see, they arrived safely. They came back. Don't have to worry, because you know what? I don't sit there all day saying, oh, I can't do this. I'm so afraid. What if this? What if that? Or when it's sent out, it's like, oh, did I make a mistake? I never regret my decisions. I was never once in fear that something was going to happen to this book. Nothing bad happened. What a shocker. Be like Yoda. Unlearn what you have learned. If you like living in fear and doubt, that's an experience you can live. By all means, you have the right to do so. I wouldn't recommend it if you want a happy life. So, X-Men #1, which was once a blue-labeled CGC 3.0, is now a confirmed PGX 3.0. It no longer is in a cracked case, and I don't have to worry about it being one of the probably more than 350 fake items that have been swapped by criminals and crooks using the CGC labels. Don't even get me started. My CGC 9.0 first print bone #1 had pressable defects. I took the chance, bumped it up to a 9.2. Not a major upgrade, but an upgrade. Very happy with it. This one was the only one. I can't even say I'm disappointed, but like I said, I dropped it. Malibu Sun 13, 9.2. But again, I spent a grand total of $85 on it. You don't think I can make a profit off of that? Something is Killing the Children, #1. First print. 9.8. White pages. At the time I bought it, I paid a lot of money for it. But it looks like it was worth it, because I didn't buy that book when it first came out. And last but not least, there's a bonus book, because they did make a mistake. It came back the same grade, 9.6, but now it does say the verified signature of Stan Lee, which I'll show right there, and I paid a grand total of $252 for that book. Very happy. Would I have loved a 9.8? Sure. But I'm happy with a 9.6, and I'm not going to be one of those people that's just going to, I'm going to crack it open and resubmit it 500 times. Well, don't forget all of the shipping and handling and insurance costs you have to pay to do that each time, which lowers the amount of money you're going to make on it. So if the book is a $200 difference, and it takes you 4 times of sending it in, Was it worth it when you had to pay shipping and handling and graders costs each time? People don't mention these things. But as Forrest Gump once eloquently said, stupid is as stupid does. So, 38 people stuck around. 33 people liked it. I love you guys to death. The ratio of the amount of people that take the time to hit that like button is astonishing to me. So, let's do today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. And since Daniel wanted to ask if he can be promoted, I'm going to promote him. Daniel Cochran, you are one of today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. But I always do a second one, so let's scroll back a little bit. And we'll give it to somebody. Hopefully they're still here. We're going to go with Gunny Camacho. And we're going to add a third. We're going to do Joey Lane. So all three of you are today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. Whether you're a subscriber or not, does not matter to me. If you want to hit subscribe, that is awesome. If you have a YouTube channel, which I know Daniel does, because like I said, I'm subscribed to him. We don't know each other. We've done business several times. We spoke several times via email. But he's just a person that watches my videos, ordered from me, and has been a stand-up person. So go subscribe to his channel. So what you guys do when the video is live, if all three of you are here, or one of the two or two of the three are here, when this video uploads in the comments section, all you have to do is post a link to either a specific video, or you could post a link to your YouTube channel. If you don't have videos and you want to promote something like your social network, like if you're on X, which everybody still says Twitter, or Facebook or Instagram, whatever, you could post a link to one of those. If you don't have that and you'd rather maybe you sell something that does not have to be comic book related, as long as it's not adult toys or pornography or selling of weapons or something. If you sell something on Etsy, eBay, Amazon, whatever, and you want to post the link to one of your sales, please, I'll leave you the option of which one you want to do. So keep in mind, anybody that posts a link, it will not show up on the comment section until I approve it. This keeps anybody trying to post a link randomly on my channel from sending people to a porn site or somewhere where it's just not what I'm willing to promote. So if you see a link in the comment section, it means that it has been We Love Comics approved. So go support them. So look at the screen, look at those comics I'm looking to do a trade. If you're one of the people that wants to do one of the trades, and even now if you want to do any of the books that I showed, I might be willing to part with an X-Men #1 for a, All-Star Comics 8. Obviously, there might be other books that are needed. But, you know what? You've seen all my videos. You've seen my top books. If there's one that's not in that video that you think is going to be needed, if I'm willing to part it for something else, you know what? Let's give it a try. So contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. And let me know, guys, because not many people comment once the video is live, when it's no longer live and it's been uploaded. It helps my channel tremendously if you comment on videos when they've been uploaded. That's why I don't get many views. So let's hear in the comment section what you thought of all these books. What do you think about the fact that I don't let fear run my life? I've been doing this each month, every month for 6 years now. Not one bunch of comics has been lost or damaged. Actually, I take that back. One was lost, but that was my fault because I forgot to put the invoice. And after about 2 or 3 months, I contacted them, and they said, oh, those are your books? We didn't know whose they were. So they didn't regrade them. They didn't confiscate them. They didn't sell them. They didn't divide them amongst the employees. They held them there waiting for somebody to call for their books. It happened to be me because I only send in 4 books. They had 4 books, and I forgot to put in the invoice. And I got them. So never has any of my books disappeared. And I've sent in books like X-Men #1. I've sent in Hulk 181 5 or 6 times. Daredevil's #1s 2 or 3, actually 3 or 4 times. So I've sent in many a big boy book, never had a problem. So if you want to believe what so many people online say about companies without experiencing your own experience with them, by all means, please do. I don't recommend you do that. Now, you could have had a bad experience with PGX and say, I'll never use them again. Hey, I can understand that and appreciate that. But if you've never had them, given them a try before, and you say bad things about a company that you've never had any experience with, you're basically just a parrot repeating what some master has told you to say that's locked you up in a cage. So give them a try. Go in the description of this video, which, by the way, not only has those discount codes for the PGX, which is, like I said, We Love Comics, free press. If you send in 10 or more, you'll get one of them pressed for free. And if you want to add the graders notes to the back of the slab, you do have to mention it because it's not on their invoice. You have to write it down. But use the We Love Comics graders note as a tag. And for $5 each one, you'll get the graders notes put on the back of the slab. I have many other discounts and things like that. You can join my Patreon if you ever wanted to. There's no extra videos on Patreon because I'm not one of those people that believes you have to pay for videos. But if you want to help support my channel to help me continue to do what I love and what you seem to enjoy, that would be definitely grateful. I think I have maybe one Patreon member, maybe two. I get about $3 to $6 a month. And hey, it goes towards the comics. So, and I also have my comic book mystery boxes. Go check them out. You will see that everybody that buys my mystery boxes is pretty happy. And the ones that might not have been 100% mega completely blown away by the comics when they got them, I guarantee you the books that I sent them are probably worth triple what they were when they first got them. Because I send books, especially in the bigger packages, that are going to do you well. So give them a chance. Do an unboxing video, and I will promote the living daylights out of it to help your channel grow. So take the time, go to the comment section once this uploads. Let me know what you thought about these comics. Let me know what you think about the way I talk about things. And share your experiences with the situations, good, bad, and indifferent. Let's just be friendly, and let's make 2024 a positive year. You know, sometimes you gotta just look ahead. There's a reason why the rear view mirror in the car is the smallest mirror. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant. And don't forget, it is not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics. Go support our surprise subscriber shoutouts. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered.